Hey, hello, and welcome to the third part of our discussion on Mass Effect. We are Mass Effect. I'm your co-host, Rob.
And I'm your co-host, Betrys, or B.
We originally, at the end of last episode, a quick programming note, we said we were going to talk about just Artemis Tau. We ended up playing through that section and agreeing we should probably just also play through Feros because we were worried that there would not be enough to discuss with Artemis Tau, as it turned out.
Here's my Artemis Tau episode. Wow, I remember that whole sequence being a lot more difficult and taking longer.
Yep, pretty much. I remember it being a lot more difficult and taking longer. I don't know if it's because of it must be the changes to the gameplay, but I found this game both a lot more playable, but also not quite as difficult as when I used to play through it. Not even when I first played through it. Just any time I would go through, I remember dying a lot more.
Yeah, no, I also remember dying a lot more, and I've been playing on Insanity, and not like very conservatively, or even I would say well, and I've mostly survived.
Wow, I've just been playing on normal difficulty, and I've died a few times, but I've been fine mostly.
I started on normal, but my initial save didn't save.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I'll just try it on Insanity. Normal was easy, and Insanity's been easy.
Yeah.
It's been fun, guys.
I think it's interesting. I've had an easier time once I kind of started to unlock more of the Vanguard powers and realized how the Vanguard is supposed to be played in this game, which is a little different from my experience playing as a Vanguard in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer.
Yeah,
Or I guess it's not. Like, it's just that the way that works is different. Do you know what I mean? Like, you still have to, be good about using barrier and just getting in there into the middle of the action.
Yeah, it's a fundamentally similar loop. It's just the way that Mass Effect 1 plays is so radically different.
Yeah. Yeah. See, we could talk about things like the gameplay. We don't just read codex entries.
Yeah, see, guys, this is totally a video game podcast. You are not just listening to a podcast about two people who are reading entries in a video game.
I only put notes from one codex well, no, that's not true. I put notes from two codex entries into the outline for this episode, so we will have a little bit of that, but it'll be when the topics come up. We're not just going to talk about lore dumps for 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, there's look, we need to talk about the codex entry for Feros, because it's the only way I have any context for Feros.
Oh, that's good. I've read it. I don't know if I picked up much from it, so maybe that'll be good then. And I know one of the codex entries that I picked up might not be something that you even got to see, but we'll get into that as we get into it.
Yeah, we sure will. This is exciting, guys.
It's also crazy because the thing I really want to talk about, we can't, because we have to wait for the side quest mega talk at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started on side quests, and there's a lot going on there. That'll be very interesting in a couple of episodes.
Yeah, let's just say that we're gonna have some fun with Major Kyle.
Oh God, yes we are. We're gonna have fun with Major Kyle. All right, so we We go to the Artemis Tau sector in order to save Liara T'Soni, who is the Dr. Liara T'Soni. Who is the daughter of Matriarch Benezia, the Asari right-hand man to Saren, the former Spectre turned leader of the Geth army, who we are hunting down.
When you explain Mass Effect like this, it's a less serious and interesting video game.
It is
I apologize.
Summarizing, right? Like, when you're in the midst of it, you're like, yeah, okay, no. But then it's like, when you, like, sit down and think, all right, what have I done? It gets, I think that's can be said, fairly about a lot of science fiction.
Yes, I was just thinking about it. I was like, yeah, you're right. It is basically just Dr. Robotnik leading a robot army, huh?
It is not even particularly clear what Saren's relationship with the Geth are at this point, except that they work for him. I hope we'll get more on that as we go on. we arrive at the planet where she is studying Protheon ruins, and it has been overrun by Geth. You drive through the planet, fight Geth along the way until you reach the mines, where you find that she has accidentally locked herself into the defense system, the ancient Prothean defense system. You rescue her, have a showdown with the Krogan mercenary, and that is pretty much it.
Yeah, it's not even like a Krogan mercenary that they've introduced or something. It's just a Krogan mercenary who's like, I'm hot shit.
This introduces the idea that you'll now also be fighting Krogans.
Yes, this is fair, I guess. They're really tough, actually.
To be fair, once you're off of the planet, and when you get the chance to talk to Rex, your Krogan ally, he does reveal that he worked for Saren for a short time, and that Saren has been hiring Krogan mercenaries.
Yeah, that's
which means that the two people you'll be killing a lot in this game are the two races who have been most aggrieved by the Council.
Yeah, you are kind of a space cop, so it does make sense.
Yeah, no, it's true. We shouldn't be shocked, but
And if you're not a space cop, you're a literal space marine or a space CIA agent. In any way you slice it, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
It adds up.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we contextualized it that way, because the game does not,
Well, no, because the game is written from the point of view of the Empire, looking out at these other peoples.
I do think that is like the part of this game that is incredible, and and the more I play it, the more I feel like that is intentional.
I wonder if it's intentional, or I wonder if it's the result of sheltered people who essentially live in an empire looking out at the world and being like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because I can see it being either, and I'm more interested to see how it is developed.
Yes.
Because from what I remember, it goes the direction of, yeah, no, it's mostly fine.
It is something where like, I wonder though, because we end up, so much of the third game is wrapping up, from what I remember, is wrapping up these plot lines that have been set up now in this first game. Like, we see them develop. Like, we're not going to see these things resolved in this game. We know that. So I feel like giving them the Slacker the chance to sort of recognize, like, I think if our characters recognized what was going on, it would make the journey that we're about to go on just, very short in that way.
This is fair, but I guess I can't remember a point where humans are undermined. I remember a point where every other council race is undermined. Pretty brutally in Mass Effect 3. But like humans, it's basically, no, we have Cerberus, and that's a problem, but that's part of our infinite variety, which is the cool thing about us.
Right.
But again, I could be wrong, because it's been forever since I played Mass Effect 3.
Liara reveals to us that she's been studying the Protheans, and she has a radical idea that has been ignored by other Asari because she is so young. She's only 106. She believes that the Protheans were not the first galactic civilization, nor the first galactic civilization to be wiped out, and that every 50,000 years there is the galactic civilizations seem to get wiped out. Shepard points out that this is because they were wiped out by the Reapers. And that's pretty much where all that discussion goes, and doesn't really get started again until after Feros.
No, it is super cool that they specifically introduce a character who is meant to have like special and intricate knowledge of the Protheans, and Shepard has more knowledge just by knowing about the Reapers. That's cool. Like, Liara's theory isn't like the Reapers, and she hears that and is like, yeah, no, of course, I know all about the Reapers.
Yeah. It's crazy that she wouldn't have known about the Reapers, actually, if this is exactly what she's studying, because the Reapers seem to be something that people know about, at least as a belief system.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm being honest, Liara is a character who Liara is the only character where I actually get kind of like intrinsically when you describe the plot of Mass Effect why she's in my party. And she's also the only character I don't feel actually makes sense in the party because she doesn't add any info to the world or to your quest that it couldn't be covered by like any other Asari.
It seemed odd to me this time around when she just sort of joins your party, you know. And I think on a certain point it is just like, well, you know, she's interested in this stuff. She has biotic powers. It's kind of just it's described very quickly in a hey, she wants to join us, and because you're Shepard and you're the space messiah, you're gonna be cool about it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was cool about it. Not, oh yeah, I've been making some eyes at this lady, and she seems to be the only other queer person on this spaceship. Time to make my move. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm joking about that because like it's just.
Yeah,
I don't get why she joins your party. I don't get why she doesn't know about the Reapers. I don't get why there's like a great reason to have her there and they don't go with it. It's so weird.
Yeah, or I don't know. But it is also she does come in very useful later in the story too, you know. So like there is a reason why she is there later on in the narrative.
Yes.
But I think that not seeing that right away, like I think it made more sense to me the first time I played because again I found Liara last, so finding her was kind of an intrinsic key to understanding the mystery of the Reapers. Which we should also mention because we have been taking the perspective of hey, we're people who remember this game. We know the Reaper story, so we have not been.
Sorry.
We've not been focusing on that as much as you do the first time you play this game. I
also won't lie to you. Just my attention has not been very animated by the Reaper story.
No, I've not been that engaged with it as much as I've been engaged with the interspace politics of this world.
Yeah, which honestly the writing seems mostly engaged with too.
It seems a lot more interested in that part of it, and I kind of understand why, because that is the part of it both that comes up a lot, even when there's artificial intelligence stuff. I'm gonna dip a little bit into side quests, just because I just played a side quest that is you finding an artificial intelligence on the Citadel, and it is basically like, look, either organics need to destroy or dominate all synthetic life. That is just the fact of it. And so like I have been more engaged in the organics versus synthetic plotline than I think I was in my previous playthrough of the series.
Yeah.
That sequence in itself is incredibly wild, and I'm like, wait, why? No, we have to stop and talk about this. And the game is like, nope.
See, this is my entire problem with that conclusion. It is presented as a conclusion from which there can be no other argument, despite the fact that, nah, you can argue this shit. Like, we're both sentient creatures. Let's talk about it. Why do we gotta go to genocide?
I mean, it's amazing to me that the sort of perspective of everyone in this world is like, everybody watched Terminator and took it as religious doctrine.
Yeah, no, that's what the... Yeah, no, that is what happened in the Mass Effect.
The Terminator became the Bible.
Yeah, there was a giant nuclear war. I don't know how we got shit together again.
I mean, the Krogan, we probably, we figured it out. It was like Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah, that is true. Star Trek, the original series, we went from hellscape to paradise in a few centuries.
Yeah, so we had to get there. We had to have the same journey in Mass Effects.
Absolutely. Despite the fact that I think it's only like 100 or so years in the future.
No, it's good. In that way. I like it when science fiction is not 1,000 years in the future, but 100 years in the future.
Yes, I do as well.
Just because, I don't know. I can't imagine 1,000 years from now. That seems crazy.
No, that's insane. There won't be people.
No.
There will be, I guess, Quarians.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
definitely.
Because they'll be the ones who are left.
Okay.
So one thing Liara does give us is a view into Asari and Asari society.
Yes. The main thing that she gives us for now.
We learn that Asari can mate with any other species. In fact, so much so that they prefer it this way, and because they will assimilate features and aspects of other species whenever they mate with them. So if an Asari mates with another Asari, the child of that union is referred to derisively as a pureblood, which Liara is.
It's cool. This is a fun thing that BioWare really likes to do, actually, is to invert, like, a fantasy or sci-fi trope. Like the elves in Dragon Age. The term pureblood here is a derisive one, and not a weird, like, white supremacist coding.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is very weird that is where we are at.
That's... Look.
These progressives who are just putting down, people with conservative values.
Yeah, exactly. Conservative values, like thinking that the elves are cool.
Yeah, well...
that is a pretty conservative value, actually.
Yeah,
it's also lame and wrong. Sorry, elf fans.
Another thing that I found interesting was Liara mentions that her mother, Matriarch Venezia, and maybe I'm misremembering this, but she wants the Asari to take a stronger role in galactic politics.
Yeah, no, she totally does say something like that.
The Asari run the government.
The Asari, at the very, very worst, have lost some of their control to the Turians due to the latter race's martial prowess. By which I mean they're literally like most of the army for the council, so I don't... Yeah, no, I guess unless you want to make mind thralls of all the Turians. Jeez, why did I say... I know why I said it like that.
Yeah. Oh my god,
I know why I messed it up.
We have to get there.
We gotta mess it up.
I forgot. I didn't even make that connection.
I'm tired, guys.
No, it's fine. We're doing this a little bit late. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is our first episode that we're... that is coming out not on launch day. So I would just like to thank everybody for the massive success that we saw last week.
Absolutely.
It was shocking. We were surprised, just as anybody, to have won the Nobel Peace Prize in podcasting, the first ever one.
Now let's do the take if it doesn't go off. You goddamn worms.
How dare you? We gave you our blood, sweat, and tears.
We gave you 3 goddamn episodes day 1. Do you know who else did that?
We spent all weekend recording those. Yeah, so whichever way that goes.
Yeah, whichever way that goes, we're covered.
Yeah, no, we so just so we can explain this joke that's very funny to us and no one else, I'm sure. We are recording this before we release those episodes.
Yeah, long before.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, long before the release of this episode.
Oh yeah, long before the release of this episode. The evening before the release of our first 3 episodes.
Yes.
I also like that. I also like that Liara is disinterested in politics, and her line is, and I think this should just be the mantra of Mass Effect: "I am not on anybody's side." So yeah.
That's the mantra of a Mass Effect.
And I think that is what we got from Liara. I made a couple of notes of talking to other one that I thought was interesting. You told me that you didn't talk to Caden, right?
No, we should maybe explain. Caden is one of the characters. He's a sad broken boy. With some trauma, and also, I won't lie to you, creepy aggressive flirting if you play as Femme Shep.
Yeah, it does come up if you're playing as male shepherd, not with you, but like when Leora joins, he's like, well, she's rather easy on the eyes if you like the bookish type.
Which is a cool, good statement to make about a
fellow coworker, yes.
About a coworker aboard your starship.
Everyone hates Caden Alenko, and I must admit, when I initially played Mass Effect, I liked Caden Alenko. But playing it now, I don't think I liked him because of his personality as a character. I think I liked him because his voice actor is the same voice actor who played Cartha Nassi in Let's Go Republic.
Almost definitely that is why you liked him, because I have no fondness for this character.
No, but I
did not play.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say I have a lot of fondness for Cartha Nassi.
Yeah, I had not at that point played KOTOR, so I had no fondness for Karth. I won't lie to you, I actually don't think I've played KOTOR or beaten it yet.
Fair.
But I've started it a few times at least.
Now that I'm thinking about Karth, there's some really troubling stuff. So maybe maybe when we inevitably go back to the Steel Republic, we can work that out.
Yeah, maybe when we admit that this is not a sci-fi podcast, but a BioWare podcast.
But yeah. So other than speaking very improperly about a coworker, Caden also reveals a little bit more about his backstory. Which I bring up not because it wasn't as interesting as I remember it, although there are some later details. I'm just gonna conflate both of the details you learn about him because I just don't know how much I really want to. I don't want to bring this up too often. But Caden was basically an early test for human biotics, and we learned he was sent to this place called Jump Zero, which was like the first human biotics training center, and we also learn that after first contact, they hired Turian commanders to come and train the human kids, and the Turian commanders were extremely physically abusive with the children they were supposed to teach. But yes, why this stood out to me and why I wanted to bring it up was one of the details in the codex entry for the biotics training is that part of the objective of the training program that Caden was a part of was to try to create the Nietzschean Superman.
Yeah, this was some real cool Ender's Game level shit.
It was. This was actually some good backstory telling, I thought, about Caden.
Yes, I mean, also, it revealed the cool fact that Caden was part of a fascist training program.
Yeah, so that is the thing. I have a note. Nietzsche himself
oh shit, I didn't see your note, sorry.
Nietzsche himself was not a fascist, and was a critic of the rising anti-Semitic movement in Germany. However, his sister was an anti-Semite and pro-nationalist German. So after his death, she
should also maybe preface that by non-anti-Semitic, he would still be considered anti-Semitic today.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
No, sorry, you're right. I should not have implied otherwise, but...
No, sorry, I'm pretty sure he, like literally every German person from that era, I think, said some shit about Jewish people. But yeah, no, comparatively to his sister, not as... sorry.
Yeah, so she actually became the curator of his work and reworked it to become very pro-nationalist. And so when the Nazi Party rose, they incorporated a lot of his work. So the idea of the Nietzschean Superhuman, or Übermensch, as it is described, as it is in its original German, is very much tied to fascist ideology and belief systems.
It's also worth noting that like the Nietzschean Superman or Overman is a pretty distinct figure from this. From like the perception of a Superman that's implied by biotics training. I feel like this is actually a writer fucking up and just writing like Nietzschean Superman because they've heard it once.
Yes, that I think
cool.
is definitely. I think that is the case. Yes,
I could be wrong though, and I'm very willing to hear that argument.
I tried to read about it, but I think like reading articles that sort of quickly encapsulate something did not give me a great idea about it, so I just kind of left it. And I thought it was worth bringing up because of the connection to fascism and what we've also learned about humanity. But beyond that,
yeah. Look, I feel like we should at some point just come up with a cool sobriquet for the Systems Alliance, and I know what my vote's gonna be.
I'm almost terrified to ask.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so we also learned that Garrus used to be a candidate for Spectre training, but was declined because his father was a C-Sec man through and through and hated how unaccountable the Spectres were.
Alright, this actually doesn't explain to me why he declined.
Because at the time, he respected his father and his father's beliefs, but, you know, he's now spent and during time he was in the military, but now he spent so much time as a C-Sec man himself, and he no longer believes in the liberal beliefs of his father. He realizes that to get the job done, you have to subvert the law.
Yeah, I mean, to get the job done, you have to have no rules, as opposed to a C-Sec officer, which, from what I can tell, has, like, no rules. No actual rules, sorry.
No.
They try to make it sound arduous. It's like, oh my god, we need to check all this stuff and do these things. It's like, okay, but it sounds like this is all bullshit that you made up to have a job, so...
At a later point, Garrus gave me an example of a time where C-Sec's red tape got in the way, and it was because he wasn't allowed to blow up a ship with hostages on it.
Oh, shit! I remember this!
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
You'll get that once you get a chance to speak to Garrus after Feros. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, that... damn it.
How did you handle Williams getting a little bit outspoken about her anti-alien feelings?
Oh, I won't lie to you. I haven't talked to Williams at all yet. Oh, wait, no. I had that conversation with her. I was pretty down on her.
Yeah, I just shut her down immediately. I was like, why would you question a commanding officer that way? Which wasn't what I was intended. I hit the you're out of line thinking that it was going to be like, you know, you don't talk about, you know.
Yes.
But then it was, you don't talk, how dare you question a CO that way? And I was like, well, I also feel that, you know.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember my dialogue options, but I guess I talked her down a bit nicer than that. But mostly just because I was like, I don't want to, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I would have if I realized what I was going to say. I didn't really care enough to reload my save or anything.
Yeah, I do like Williams more than Caden, though. Even with that, oh boy.
I liked the follow-up conversation with her where you're just talking about her family. I was like, oh, you know, Williams, you're alright.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Like, there's more to her than just her very deep-seated bigotry against aliens.
Yeah.
Which maybe just makes her worse. I don't know.
But yeah, so that was all that really stood out to me about the Artemis Tau segment, which is why I was glad when you suggested we maybe just add in Feros here, because to be fair, this is, only how much time we usually just put on one codex entry. I don't know if that should be an entire episode, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. we probably could have found some other codex entries.
Oh, I looked. I read every codex. Trust me, if there's a good codex entry, I would have said let's get wild. I mean, we did spend more time. Oh, there's one detail from codex entry I did forget, which is when it's in the Asari codex entry, it says that because Asari lived to be 1,000, they often have, and this is a direct line, a more centrist view.
Right.
And I was like, look, game, that is not why the Asari is centrist. The Asari is centrist because the status quo serves them completely well.
Yeah, no, they are centrists, exactly. They're centrists between the Solarians, who want to, just rat fuck the entire galaxy, and the Turians, who want to, fascistically control the entire galaxy, and the Asari are like, guys. We can covertly fascistically control all of the society and rat fuck the other societies to make them more amenable to us.
Oh, God.
Hey, humanity, you want in on this game? The Asari.
And humanity's like, yes.
Yeah, no, humanity was like, yeah, no, obviously, I want in on this game. I love this game.
We want to be the ones rat fucking, not the rat fucked.
Yeah. You know what we did on our world to us? Hell yeah, we'll do this to other species.
Oh boy. Yeah. No.
Yeah. When you put it like that, what humanity's main thing in the galaxy might be that we're like super cool with fighting with one another. That would be a hilarious thing in a video game. I want that to be the reason humans are special once.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it is in a way, because when we talk about the Elcor, the Hanar, or the Volus, they are not as militarily aggressive as we are. And even though they've been around longer and show signs of societies that we might consider more progressive, like, that's not what the Council is interested in.
Oh, I mean, setting it actually only like 100 years from now actually really highlights the most amusing aspect of this game, which is humanity is only important because of our military prowess.
Yeah.
We are only good at that, and that's the only thing we have. Like, when you look at human civilization in this world, it's mostly pretty crap. Like, we live on colonies that seem like mostly made out of prefab stuff. That's
all of the colonies that I have been to
are terrible. Even Prime.
Eden Prime was terrible. It was, the buildings were terrible. Also, everyone on it died.
Yeah.
Like, the colony I'm from, everybody died.
Yep, same. Same colony.
Yeah, exactly. It was bad. Like, no, humanity has not done a good, and we're gonna get to what happens to the other colony, and it's somehow even worse than those two. It is somehow even worse than those two.
Yeah, it is. And this is the first one that's, I think, fully a corporate-run colony.
Yes. So should we get into the next segment of the game, which is Feros?
Absolutely, we should get into Feros. Perhaps we should start with the codex entry for Feros.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, I mostly like it because it sets the scene very well, which is that Feros is, it's a ruined, ecumenopolis, basically, of Prothean design.
I did like that detail a lot.
Yes. I don't know why this is, like, the first time I'm taking that in.
Yeah, that never occurred to me in the same way.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't I remember this? Why don't I remember anything about Feros is, I guess, the thing I should ask myself.
There is so much I forgot about Feros. I did not remember the whole stuff with the Thorian until we were talking about this podcast and outlining it, and I happened to see something in the Mass Effect wiki. And, look, I had completely forgotten that was a part of the game.
I won't lie to you. Until I started playing through Feros, I was like, okay, there's something about this mission that I'm forgetting, and I don't know what it is. And it took me forever to realize, like, oh, it's the Thorian. Oh, right. It's that terrifying monster that I hate.
But yes, this is a colony built in the skeletons of an old Prothean city.
Yeah, the one that's been, like, just continuously like scavenged over for millennia at this point.
Yeah, for at this point 50,000 years at least. I mean,
Yeah,
who knows
at
if this
least.
is actually a Prothean one and not some older civilization?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, exactly. Like it's ancient, and we're just setting up a cool colony. We're gonna use the. It's something like. Sorry, I should have actually opened the codex entry and not just relied on my fun brain to remember it. Yeah, they're like relying on the aqueducts and the hydroponic gardens of the old Ecumenopolis. That's Ecumenopolis. Whatever. It's a tough word, guys. It's a tough made-up word.
It also,
I like that setting.
yeah.
And
I wish the game was doing more of that, to be honest. Or like maybe front-loading the setting more in this segment. I think that's just partly... We're going to see that more in the later games, even. I just think that this game is like... You can see it sometimes hitting its limitations, you know?
Yes, this is a very clear, we made this in 2007, guys, and we weren't sure what the Xbox 360 could do video game.
And it's also the first game of this scale that BioWare has made.
Oh,
really.
yeah.
You know, this is like such an order of... Replaying it, I was like, man, no wonder I was so blown away when I played this game, because going from Knights of the Old Republic and Jade Empire, which are both great games, it is just a whole different, you know, order of magnitude.
Oh, yeah, no, it's... really was very, very cool to have the Mako. I'm sorry. I know that might be an unpopular statement.
I like
now,
the
but that
Mako.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they've redone the controls, so maybe I'm feeling that a little bit, but I like it whenever I'm in the Mako and I'm just, you know, running through, like driving through this crazy ancient city, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Just wandering around a mostly lifeless planet, less fun. But
this is essentially a necropolis in my giant tank.
Yes. See, now... Okay.
This is why I should describe Mass Effect.
Yeah, but I want this video game. This actually sounds exactly like something from Outriders, a video game I've never played.
I've never played, but
extensively.
I imagine.
But I imagine
maybe Outriders
that
is the game we want.
Yeah, no, you know what? I might buy Outriders.
You know, let's see. At this point in my life, it's a multiplayer game. It's a multiplayer game we could play together.
Yeah.
Since we can't get Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, time for Outriders.
Outriders. It's the exact same thing, except not at all, but also probably a lot closer than I'm comfortable with.
So you arrive at this colony and find that it's under attack by the Geth.
Yeah.
And you basically fight them off. Then you go over to the corporate headquarters of Exogeny, the corporation that owns the colony. That is in... And all of this colony and Exogeny... They are in these giant, humongous skyscrapers.
Yeah.
That are so high up you can't see the ground.
In fact, the ground is mostly debris from the skyscrapers.
Yeah.
At this point.
You go over there. The Geth are also there. So you go into their headquarters to fend off the Geth. While you're there, you find out why some of the people at the colony were acting a little strange, and it turns out that...
we should say they all are acting like they're... Like the very early 2000s voice actors? Like 2001 voice actors?
Yes, not 2007 voice actors, and that is the difference.
Yeah,
There is a point where a character says, "We must defend the heart of the colony."
Yeah. Oh man, that stuck out to me so bad.
It stood out to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I know what they mean," but I could see myself back in 2007 just not even, not have noticing that,
Well, no, because you have to remember that then the other video games you would be playing were things where it was like just utterly impenetrable military jargon that is mostly said incorrectly and or a sci-fi variant of that with lines so much cornier, delivered with so much more sincerity.
Yes. This very much, for again, back in 2007, this game's writing was a revelation, you know.
Yeah, this game was hot shit.
So yeah, we find out the reason they've been acting strangely. There is also somebody who you can find, but you could also miss, who is like acting really strangely, where he is trying to tell you something, but then gets attacked by some sort of weird psychic attack.
Oh yeah, I missed that this time, but I remember that from.
It's easy to
first
miss stuff
playthrough.
in this game. There's stuff that I realize I've missed from past playthroughs I've just never seen, side quests and whatnot, or I've just forgotten because it's been 10 plus years at this point.
Yeah. I'm excited for more of that. In Mass Effect 2 especially.
Yeah.
I'm excited to discover that I've never played Mass Effect 2. Not really. Not in any meaningful way, and I thought I'd like 100% at that game.
Yeah. I guess that's the thing. I'm like, man, I don't know what game I'm going to go to in Mass Effect 2. I've played it 4 or 5 times, but who knows at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, we find out that ExoGenny has been studying a large plant life form called the Thorian, and that the Thorian has the ability to psychically control people, and that ExoGenny has used the sort of satellite colony, Zoo's Hope, which is where you landed, as test subjects. They use the phrase control group. That is not the proper use of that phrase. Speaking of misused terms, but they have been used as test subjects to fall under the Thorian control. Shepard takes out the Geth, confronts the company reps about this, and then after a pretty muted confrontation, where in my game I ended up killing the company rep because he wouldn't listen to reason.
In my game, I talked him down, but that's because I've leveled up diplomacy.
But so the thing is, I thought I had my charm highly leveled too, but I just didn't get the option.
Damn. Huh.
I think I was 1 point short from the highest rank in that at the time.
Oh.
And I still haven't gotten like the highest rank. I haven't unlocked the capability for that yet.
No, me neither. Which I forget how.
That's what I'm wondering is like, is that something that gets unlocked as you play through the game? Because I'm at like level 21 and I'm still not there. So
I think it might be unlocked by Paragon and Renegade.
That is deeply troubling. I've been mostly Paragon, but anyway.
Look, we all make some Renegade decisions.
Yeah.
We all sometimes have to tell Ashley to step back, or Caden to watch his eyes.
Yes.
Mostly it's the humans, or Garrus to stop being so aggressive with the hostages. Yeah, or Fashy, that too. Rex can stop being so weirdly aggressive towards other Krogan. That'd be nice.
So yeah, you then go and confront the Thorian.
Tell he can stop defending genocide.
The Thorian reveals that it is that it is an ancient being that has lived since the time of the Protheans, which is crazy that it has been living inside a Prothean city. Were the Protheans aware of it? Who knows?
Yeah,
a lot of unanswered questions about the Thorian going on.
Lots of unanswered questions about the Thorian going on. Is this city actually way older? And did the Protheans? Was all of Prothean civilization created to feed the Thorian? Is that a possibility?
It's whatever the case is, that ends as soon as you murder the Thorian as the only indigenous life form on this planet. Thus,
absolutely.
It is referred to as indigenous to this planet, by the way, by the scientists at ExoGenny. After that, an Asari who used to work for Saren reveals herself. She was being cloned by the Thorian to make enemies for the boss fight. And she reveals that Saren traded her as part of a deal so that he could get a cipher to better understand the message from the beacon. The Asari then gives you the cipher, which gives you a clearer vision of the vision you had at the beginning of the game. And then you get to decide whether to leave her or kill her in another Renegade or Paragon choice.
So
I left
obviously, I killed her.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
I would have been curious what your thought on it was. You know,
Nah. Look, I didn't have much of a thought on it, honestly.
It seemed like a choice to get you Paragon or Renegade points in the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It didn't. I was like, I don't get why I would kill this person. I guess if I was a real, just... Yeah, I genuinely don't know. But this whole quest was kind of shorter than I remember, and also...
It was a lot shorter than I remember, even though there are things in it that I'd forgotten. Like, I remember this being a much more involved thing. I feel like I remember the storyline with the company being more played out and longer.
I thought I remembered there being, like, more tension between the two groups of company people.
Yes. I felt like... I thought I remember there being a lot more back and forth.
Yeah, and there just isn't, really.
No.
It's pretty much a straight shot.
It felt like to me on replay... For a while, I was like, what does this feel like, and why does it not sit well with me? And it took me until after I was on Feros to realize that it was aliens.
Oh. Yeah, no, it is a lot like Aliens, huh?
And by that, of course, mean the James Cameron aliens. And I'm not referring to it as a franchise. It is just the sort of tension that is at Aliens, where you learn that the company man has been not completely honest, except that the sort of judgment on the company man in this case is not as harsh as it is in Aliens, and it is not particularly like, I don't think there is like a anti-corporate message in this storyline in the same way. Or if there is, it is not as pronounced because, again, video game writing 2007, you know?
There's just a lot of points in Mass Effect where I feel like the writing is either letting them down or just the view of the writers on these topics is very disparate from mine, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Because so after you sort of leave, someone.
But also, I do need to remember 2007. We were still. Sorry, I was trying to remember things that were popular, and I was like, I did not like popular things in 2007. I never have, so this is hard.
Well, you know,
outside of video games, but that doesn't help me.
It's easy to look at 2007's influence, but like one of the reasons I brought up like this being Terminator writ large is like a lot of the writers are at an age where they grew up with Aliens and Terminator, and that's what I see going on here, where like Aliens is a movie that this generation of writers grew up with and is part of their psyche, but I don't know if Aliens as a movie always gets interpreted the way it is intended to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's also this aspect of Mass Effect where it takes influences like that, but then it puts it through a weird Star Trek sheen, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Where it seems like a better, happier, brighter future than it really actually presents at any point.
Well, there's an aspect to this that feels very... All of these two adventures, I'm kind of glad that we played two adventures back to back this way for one episode. Just because they felt like they were, they felt episodic, right? So
yes.
Everything kind of has to wrap up by the end of it with a nice bow. And that's not how Aliens works. And I don't even know if it's like intentionally, all right, let's do an Aliens. I think that it is... Aliens is in their psyche of archetypical science fiction stories to tell here.
No, I don't think it was at the forefront of their mind. It definitely wasn't the forefront of mine until you said it, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's beat for beat Aliens, pretty much.
No, it took me forever to pick up on it, but once I did, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what this is, you know.
Yeah. I'm almost disappointed, just conceptually, by that.
I don't know if I would have picked it up on that if I wasn't replaying this game for this podcast. I think about this game so differently because I am like, all right, I have to have something to say about it. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's fair. But we played other games and tried to do that, and oh boy, did I not succeed.
Well, I think I think that is where this stuff gets dicey, right? We're taking our personal sort of viewpoints into it as well, right?
Oh, totally.
One of the things I kind of find interesting about it is there is I told you there was something I picked up. I was going through completing some side quests while I waited for you to catch up on the game, just so I could level up and get my charm up. So for a later point of the game, there's a line of dialogue that you can pick up in the elevator, like a news that is all right, so when you leave Feros, they imply that Exogeny is now going to no longer support the colony and is pulling out. But then I heard a line of a news reel in the elevator that's Exogeny is reporting that Feros is become profitable for the first time, and now the stocks for Exogeny are rising.
Huh.
And I wasn't sure if that was Mass Effect doing satire.
I thought that those would tie. I don't think it is. I think that might be a glitch because I think it's supposed to be tied
to the Renegade choice.
I don't even remember.
But you can't even choose in a way to. I guess you could side with the company rep over the doctor. Yeah, so I don't know if it was a glitch or what. It was a weird moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably have to look more into that because I do know that those are supposed to correlate. I just don't know how. Because of course I don't. Why would I do research on a podcast that I'm hosting? That's not a thing.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Except
I pulled up a great Wikipedia article.
I mean,
I felt very proud of myself.
You're right. You did a lot of research on
I did hours of no. I barely did anything. I wish I did. I don't even know what the Overman is. Come on. We're just here to have fun and discuss things.
Absolutely.
You get back to the ship, and Liara's like, "Oh, I can help you understand the cipher more." Which is, again, I mentioned earlier that there's a reason why Liara being added to the team made more sense when it wasn't the first thing I did. But again, you don't know that either, so
No, it's a wild thing, if I'm being honest, kind of regardless of the order.
Yeah.
It's just I guess you should come along. Yeah, it makes sense.
Then when you go, then she helps you see the vision more clearly and catch up more details. Then as you go to plot your next course, you get a message from the council telling you about Vermeer, and apparently a Solarian spy group has uncovered some sort of facility with ties to the Geth and Saren. So you're left to either go to your last location or go check out Vermeer.
Yeah. Does it matter which order you do those in?
I think we should go to the other one first, to Novaru. We should go there first. Yeah, Novaria. Yeah. We should go there first, for my memory of it.
Okay.
Vermeer has some stuff going on.
Oh, I remember the main thing that Vermeer has going on.
Yeah. We're also going to have... I mean, I don't know how much conversation we're going to get on Novaria, but I plan on Vermeer is probably going to be a rather long episode for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Vermeer will also be an episode where we get to make our first major choice in Mass Effect.
That's true. Yeah, one that can really have some impact on the rest of the series.
Yeah, one of the few ones that actually has impact on the rest of the series.
No, it's true.
There's one on Nivaria that I thought would have a huge impact on the series, and well, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
Not in that episode. Oh boy, no.
No.
Join us in half a year when we get to it.
I will be looking forward to discuss that choice in general, just based on how we have discussed this stuff so far.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Oh.
No. I just briefly wanted to touch on exogeny and like the idea of corporate colonization.
Yeah, I'd love to chat
in
about
Mass
that.
Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's honestly, when I saw that, it was like, that's kind of weird.
Because it's not. We've talked a lot about colonization in Mass Effect, and corporations being tied to it has not been really addressed. And corporations have barely been referenced outside of like arms manufacturers and in some of the codex entries. Like, I forgot to mention in the Quarian codex entry, it states very clearly that corporations like spend billions of credits to discredit the Quarians through media, because the Quarians will travel through different star systems and basically take any natural resources they can get their hands on as they pass through.
Yeah.
They'll just strip mine everything, which ties into bad stereotypes of the Romani people.
Yeah, no, the Quarians are real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just space Romani who committed a genocide first.
Yeah,
which started them wandering.
Which is not true.
No,
about
it's
Romani
kind of
people. It's actually kind of the other thing.
Yeah, it's kind of the reverse. It's kind of gross.
Yeah, it is troubling that this would yes.
It's I don't even know if I would say troubling, because it again, it strikes me as one of those decisions that was made because, like, oh, it's cool. It would be cool to have like a sort of a spacefaring race, and like, what if they did this crime thing, and what if we also patted them off to the remote? Oh no, you made a mistake there, guys.
Well, I think it's like, as you say, it's like, well, I think the Romani comes from, these are a spacefaring race, you know, who wander and in these caravans. So I think the connection gets made there. The weird part is that they're also the plot line of Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Pretty much ripped out and put into this game.
Yeah,
and that is where things get weird.
Again, because
and again
they add this dark, horrible history to them that makes it very troubling.
And it's not particularly clear if, like, how the game views Quarians, at least at this point. I think it will become clear as we get into the later games, how the game views Quarians' treatment of the Geth. At least at this point, the Geth are pretty unanimously bad guys. So on the face, you know.
On the face, Quarians were right. You should definitely just try to destroy the Geth immediately. There's nothing that can be salvaged or learned from them.
Yeah.
And we definitely won't learn anything about the Geth in this game that will make the entire thing look different.
Yeah.
That's a promise, guys. You will learn nothing new about the Geth in other games. Go ahead, play Mass Effect 2 and 3 right now.
Yeah.
Gallop ahead of us.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that's the thing, right? Is we're gonna see that pushed back again. So I'm interested to see that stuff tie up more.
That stuff will be pushed back against.
But like what? But so that's what. I mean, I feel like that's but
sorry,
even there,
digression aside. But...
Yeah, well, no, that wasn't aside. To get us to, like, we see corporations in that thing controlling a lot of resources. So corporations are incredibly powerful, but we're not seeing that power implemented until we come to a place like Feros, where what the corporation is doing is evil, even though the corporation is not going to see any consequences for that.
No, it's also one of the things that I was going to talk about, which is a thing I forget about Feros is that it's a corporate colony. Every time. I know it is, because it's such an intrinsic part of the quest. Like, whenever I start it again, I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's right, it's corporate. But when I actually, like, think back on it, I realized I just sort of think of it as an alliance colony.
Right.
And part of me likes this a lot. Because it makes sense. Corporations and colonization go hand in hand, always.
Yeah.
But, like, it's one of those things that, like, comes up very suddenly in Mass Effect where I'm like, oh, I was expecting a different kind of world.
Right.
Because it kind of seemed like the Alliance had a monopoly on a lot of aspects of human, like, spacefaring capabilities.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they don't. They're companies. Although I guess you could just say that they're contractors for the Alliance, so it might make sense.
Well,
never mind.
It's one of the things that I don't think has been answered is, like, what is the structure of the Alliance government?
It allegedly has a parliament.
That makes sense. I'm sure I missed something like that. But, like, beyond that,
yeah,
I'm
I don't
curious.
know where I read that.
Yeah,
so sorry.
I could just be forgetting. I think maybe when I read up on the Alliance Codex entries, I focused on some of the other weird aspects of it.
Yeah,
but I guess what I mean is, so with that detail, like, what part do corporations play in how that stuff gets metered out? Like, there's constantly a blurred line, as we're going to see when we dive into the side quest, between, like, corporations, government organizations, and independent operators. And what does it even mean to be one of those things versus the other?
yeah. I mean, it's to some degree. It sort of just seems which side of the line you are on.
Right. What does the Alliance decide you are?
Yeah. What does the Alliance think you are?
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, if you are starting colonies on a planet, are you still a corporation or are you a government?
Well, now you're still a corporation. You become a government when it gets out of hand enough that there are economies within your economy, and
Right.
a bigger government needs to step in and say, no. We're taking over. You fucked up. No,
But-
you get to keep all of that money. Don't be silly. You earned it by plundering another place. Now go along. You still get money. Oh no, we're still going to give you money in the future. It's fine.
But if the Alliance wanted to punish Exogeny for what has happened on Feros, how would they even implement that? You know, it's like,
I don't think they do. Like, that's kind of my takeaway this player through is like, oh, the Alliance doesn't care what happens to most of its colonists or most of the, I guess, technical citizens or, like, people. It, like, quasi protects. I don't even know what it does. It basically seems to look out for the interests of these corporations.
The implication from the Earthborn background, and I've not been to Earth yet in any way.
Yeah.
I know you can visit and get more information about it in the first game, but while you can't land on it, you can go and look at its entry. But, like, Earth, based on the Earthborn background, is just overrun by crime and disorganization. And humanity is turned towards space and the colonies as its bright future. Like, Earth they have pretty much written off. But, like, we keep seeing that these colonies just keep failing one way or the other. You know, either they're just completely wiped out by a threat that the Alliance is completely unable to protect from, even though they are pumping billions and billions of credits into the war economy.
Even though also explicitly the colony that was attacked is like, This is our shining beacon, the proof that we can take care of colonies.
Yes. Or these colonies are falling under like corporate malfeasance and then being attacked by Geth and almost completely wiped out.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
if we weren't happened by, Feros would have been wiped out by the Geth.
Yeah, exactly. But you happened by, and the Alliance military took care of this problem for this corporation, and they were able to see returns on the involuntary infection of their entire crew with a mind-controlling parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
profits.
Which we killed. Again.
Which
the only
killed.
indigenous life form on this planet we killed.
The only one of its kind. We committed a minor genocide here today,
yes.
guys.
I mean, if you wipe out all the species, that species being number one, you know.
Yeah. I mean...
I
won't lie to you. Of the genocides committed in Mass Effect so far, I'm feeling pretty positive about this one.
I mean, the Thorian seemed like a jerk. I'm not gonna cry over the Thorian, you know.
No, you are right to point out that, like, the solution is, oh yeah, no, we should just expunge this life form that doesn't immediately suit our purposes from the galaxy.
So that we can continue to have a colony here, explicitly.
Yeah.
Why we can't just knock out the colonists and leave with them and leave the Thorian here to its own devices is not explained.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really love that solution either, but you are right. That is much better.
I mean, yeah.
Look, the thing you should do is you should create a pocket dimension. I don't know how, and put Feros into it and leave the Thorian alone forever.
I mean, eventually someone is going to come back to Feros, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You're just basically leaving a haunted tomb planet at that point. Which,
yes.
You know what? That could be a cool escape room. Yeah, you robbed the universe of a cool diversion, Shepard.
This was a time. I felt like Feros offered a lot more meat on the old bones than and I'm glad we got a chance to go over it, you know?
Yeah, Artemis Tau was disappointing, but oh boy, was that Asari Codex entry a bulging eyeball emoji.
There were definitely some fun, there were some fun details to be discussed there, too.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, we got to talk about Caden.
Yeah.
And about how Garrus used to be more of a stand-up cop, and now he's more of a renegade cop. But don't worry, he's always a cop.
Yeah, no, Garrus never stops being a cop until he becomes a vigilante in the next game.
Yeah, Garrus, never cop, never stopping. Never stop, never copping. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
We'll find out.
Find out.
As we dive into Novaria in the next episode.
Yeah. Actually, we should be explicit here. We will not find out anything about Garrus until the next game. That's when he has his next big character beat.
Yeah.
Novaria, we'll just find out more about this game's lore.
Yes. You will hopefully... I mean, I do know that it is another corporate-run planet, so I am hoping to learn more about corporations on Novaria.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, there's some interesting details there.
Yeah. There's also a big choice in Novaria.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we discussed that, actually, already.
No, we discussed something about it, but, yeah, there's gonna be a big choice. Yeah. I'm excited.
We're gonna meet a character, directly related to a character we've already met.
I don't think we need to be coy about that one. She's one of 2 villains who have been mentioned.
Yeah, we're gonna meet Liara's mom.
Yeah. We're gonna meet Matriarch Benezia for... God, she's, like, so barely in this game.
It is, yeah. But that's true about pretty much every character in this game, right? Like,
Yeah,
Saren, for being the big
yes.
bad, is talked about more than he's around.
Yeah, I remember Saren being around more than he has actually been around.
Again, I think because we end up having to follow in his footsteps in a lot of ways. And by that, I mean, of course, chase him around the galaxy, but also the fact that after this game, we're going to go on a very similar trajectory to Saren.
No, I actually think that we basically follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, well, because, I mean...
Look, the best actual ending to Mass Effect 3 would be if the entire galaxy is, like, in turmoil. You've just created the Crucible. You think that it's going to be the Star Child or something like that, but no. Saren comes out and is like, "Well done, Shepard. You've completed my plan." Then he laughs.
Here's the thing: is Saren right? Is Saren right about? I mean, Saren's not right in that Saren is like clearly seeking the return of the Reapers, so that would destroy everything. And thus, all Saren is really doing is being a patsy for the Reapers. But Saren goes on this quest, prior to getting involved in the Reapers. He seeks out the Reapers, and it's not been established why. But one has to imagine that he sees the sort of power dynamic at play in the galaxy and the way it is about to shift when the humans come in.
Here's my read on this. Saren absolutely was trying to find an edge for the Turians to have, because he knew that with humanity there, Turians stop being as important to the Council, being as important to the Asari. They start to lose that little bit of an edge, and you know what? Maybe the Volus are no longer their client race soon. Maybe they join up with the humans. You never know.
Or get their own seat on the council.
Then no, I refuse to believe that the Volus would have a seat on the council.
The Volus are never going to get a seat on the council. Let's be clear.
Neither will the Elcor or the Hanar.
They're too good. They're the good races. They're the ones we should protect.
Yeah, they are all races that I'm like, I can see you in a Star Trek thing.
Yeah, I can see them making
nice
a fine space government, you know?
Yeah, no, I would love to live under the Elcor and the Hanar. A lot more religious than I'd want, maybe, but
But they seem fine with other people's religions, yeah.
They do. They're very polite. The Elcor talk very, very nicely.
I mean, I'm down to give a word up to the Enkindlers if it gets the Hanar off my back. Whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. What other decent races are there in Mass Effect? I think that's actually pretty much it.
That's probably it, yeah.
The Volus are basically much nicer and less offensively stereotyped Ferengi.
Yeah. I mean, some of the Volus you meet are actually very friendly.
Yeah, no, exactly.
There's a couple of real ones, but on the whole, they seem to have a wide range of personalities, more so than the Turians or the Asari do. You know. No, the Turians and the Asari kind of have one personality that they share between 5 of them. Yeah. At any one given time. Yeah. So they all have an aspect of that personality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we at least see some range, perhaps because the Volus aren't central characters, so they just get involved in different stuff there. Yeah. Well, they're not essential characters, so you can have them in various little fun B-plots. Because if they're not essential characters, you don't need to give their race a super obvious demarcator. Yes. Which makes them much more likable. It's weird how that works. But yeah, I don't really remember any other races now that I'm trying to think. Oh, I mean, with the Batarians. The Batarians. Who we're not getting into until we get to Bring Down the Sky, I believe. Yeah. The Drell, who we're not getting into, I honestly probably ever. We'll get into the Drell, I think. We'll have to. I mean, a Drell joins your party. But you don't see a Drell into You see so many more races in Mass Effect 2, is the thing. You really do, yeah.
I'm trying to think of races in Mass Effect 1. I'm like, no, I actually think I have got pretty much all
No,
of
we
them.
have gotten all of them, yeah. There are races that come up in Mass Effect 2 that we have not gotten to. And I think it is basically...
Yes.
As in Mass Effect 2, we are going to leave Citadel space more.
Yeah.
And that's just why we're going to see more of the other races.
Yeah, it's gonna be cooler, because, Citadel space is kind of lame.
Yeah, Citadel space sucks, yeah. I'm kind of excited... I am excited to see how the other half live in Mass Effect 2. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how utterly terrible non-Citadel space is while still being way better than Citadel space.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
I'm gonna get a drink at Omega. I'm gonna dance the night away in Ilium, which I actually think is in Citadel space, but it's a cool part.
But
Don't
yeah,
worry
it's
about
kind of
it.
nicer. There's a lot more going on there.
Yeah, it's an Asari world.
And we all know what that means.
Yeah, it means that the writers are going to be very weird about the Asari, but also maybe too revealing about the Asari.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
I think
excited to get there.
Yeah, I think it is going to... I think Ilium is going to reveal a lot of lore stuff that I'm excited to... I mean, I don't know. I actually just don't know is the thing. And I don't remember. I definitely didn't read Codex entries in Mass Effect 2. So I'm very curious to see what gems we discover there.
Yeah, I'm excited to read Codex entries in Mass Effect 2. I wonder if there will be any that cross over and that are altered.
Yeah, that's also what I'm curious about. You know?
Yeah.
Especially because our Codex isn't going to be coming from the Citadel or the Alliance anymore.
No.
Anyway, we should end here because
Totally
otherwise we're going to start dipping into a conversation we shouldn't have yet.
Nope.
All right, this has been Mass Reflect. The next segment of the game we are going to play is Novaria.
Yeah, a fact we mentioned 10 minutes ago.
That's true.
When we tried to
do
this episode.
Thanks for everyone who's listened and supported us in our first week. It's I hope it's going to be a real blast when we actually experience it.
Thank you so much.
If you can, please subscribe if you haven't. And also, please rate and review us on your podcast app of choice. It really helps get the word out around the show. And if you really want to help, also get the word out around the show. Recommend us to some friends or, share us on the media social. I'm not very good at using those, so it would really help me out.
Yeah, I am also bad at using the media social. So, yeah. Share us, like us, retweet us. That's the thing, right?
Definitely, but also really the rate and review thing is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you want people to hear about this show, it would really help.
That is the much better thing to do.
Yes. If you want to find our social media accounts, you can do so at massreflectpod.com. We also have a link to the iTunes page as well as the RSS feed if you just want to get at that. All that is there. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll be back next week.
See you then. Bye.